Starch. When you think of this word, you might imagine dry cleaning, or maybe it makes you think about skyrocketing blood sugar. After all, starchy foods, like white potatoes, are well known to cause a steep rise in glucose levels. But guess what? There may just be a special type of starch which can lower post-meal blood sugar. If you're resistant to the idea that certain starchy foods can actually help you fight diabetes, maybe it's time for you to discover resistant starch. Is this myth too good to be true? Is resistant starch the real deal? And if so, in which foods can it be found? Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for 3 incredible diabetes-fighting gifts. And to really show your appreciation for diabetes smarts, we'd super appreciate if you clicked the thanks button. Okay, do you want to know all about a form of starch that may actually help you fight diabetes? Well, it's time to answer the question. Does resistant starch really lower blood sugar? Carbohydrates provide the body with its primary fuel source, making them an incredibly important macronutrient to include in the diet. But not all carbs are equal. Most of the grains we consume in our diet are starches, which are long chains of glucose that act as a valuable fuel source for the body. But, of course, starches can significantly raise blood sugar, lead to an increase of insulin, and may possibly result in dangerous glucose spikes. But resistant starch is a unique type of carbohydrate that resists digestion. This means that it passes through the intestinal tract without being digested, until it finally reaches the colon, where it feeds our friendly gut bacteria. Resistant starch functions like a soluble, fermentable fiber, and it's been shown to have some impressive health benefits, from enhancing digestive function to promoting metabolic health. It's true that including more resistant starch in your diet can be incredibly beneficial for your health. That's all well and good, but is this functional food helpful for diabetics? Well, let's investigate if resistant starch really lowers blood sugar. After eating any type of carbohydrate, our blood sugar levels naturally increase. This causes the cells in our pancreas to release insulin, which triggers the movement of glucose from our bloodstream into our cells. This process then lowers blood sugar. Being diabetic means that either your pancreas does not produce enough insulin, or your muscle cells are resistant to insulin. Either way, if you are type 1 or type 2 diabetic, by now you surely know the importance of managing and balancing your blood sugar levels. Because carbohydrates cause a larger spike in blood sugar in comparison to fats and proteins, low carbohydrate diets are often recommended for those wanting to manage their blood sugar levels. So, if resistant starch is classified as a carbohydrate, how exactly can it decrease blood sugar? Before we find out, it's time to give you exclusive, in-depth diabetes-fighting info for free. Uncover a wide world of diabetes-fighting, nutrition-packed foods within our free ebook, Superfoods for Diabetics. Learn key secrets about diabetes and your health from leading medical experts in episode 1 of that diabetes documentary, and discover exactly what and how to healthfully cook for the entire family with our recipe book, Snacks, Meals, and Desserts that lower blood sugar. You won't want to miss out on these 3 amazing free gifts. Simply click the link below to grab them all. Okay, let's get back to the truth about resistant starch. Although it's classified as a carbohydrate, does this functional fiber actually work to lower post-meal blood sugar? Let's see what the science says about resistant starch. Did you know that there are actually several types of resistant starch? They are found in different foods and carry unique health benefits. The first type of resistant starch, known as RS1, is found within the fibrous cell walls of grains, legumes, and seeds, such as beans and lentils. The second type, or RS2, is found in certain starchy foods, such as unripe bananas and raw potatoes. Type 3 resistant starch, aka RS3, comes from what is known as retrograded starch. RS3 can be created when specific starchy foods, like rice or potatoes, are cooked and then cooled. These three forms of resistant starch are all natural to our world. But there is a fourth form of resistant starch, RS4, which can be created through chemical modifications. Some food companies sell products which have been enhanced with wheat-derived RS4 as lower glycemic alternatives to their traditional products. So, which type is best for your health and your blood sugar control? Limited studies have found that RS2 is capable of slowing the glucose peak to about 30 minutes. But wheat-derived RS4 may be even more effective, possibly delaying the glucose peak to 120 minutes after eating. Scientists believe that this is due to the fact that RS4 often has higher dietary fiber content than other forms of resistant starch. A 2018 study showed that participants who ate scones containing type 4 resistant starch had noted reductions in post-meal blood glucose and insulin response. The study also found that the RS4 scone reduced hunger for an average 180 minutes, with no gastrointestinal side effects compared with participants who ate a low-fiber scone. But whichever form of resistant starch you consume, you should gain some incredible diabetes-fighting benefits. Several studies have shown that resistant starch in general may improve insulin sensitivity by effectively lowering blood sugar levels after meals. Plus, resistant starch has been shown to have a secondary effect after meals, meaning that if you were to include a source of resistant starch with your breakfast, it may also work to lower your blood sugar levels after lunch. Incredibly, studies have identified an improvement in insulin sensitivity by up to 50% after consuming around 30 grams of resistant starch each day. Animal studies have shown that increasing your fiber intake from resistant starch may not just improve insulin sensitivity, it can also lower the risk of obesity and even increase the absorption of minerals inside your body. Meanwhile, resistant starch has also been given attention for its ability to enhance digestive function. This unique form of fiber helps feed our healthy gut bacteria, and in return, our friendly gut bugs turn resistant starch into short-chain fatty acids. Short-chain fatty acids are a key fuel source for the cells of our colon, and they also play an important role in preventing many diseases. Perhaps the most important short-chain fatty acid is butyrate, which has been linked to some impressive health benefits. Research has shown that butyrate may reduce the risk of multiple diseases, from obesity to heart disease. And since type 2 diabetics tend to have lower amounts of bacteria that produce butyric acid, add this to the list of resistant starch benefits as well. Oh, and did we mention that multiple studies highlight the benefits of fiber to promote weight loss? Resistant starch has been shown to increase feelings of fullness and satiety. And check out this incredible bonus. The higher the amount of resistant starch in a food, the less calories it will have. So, does resistant starch really lower blood sugar? Yes. And now you can see multiple reasons why consuming resistant starch can work wonders for your health and your glucose control. But exactly which foods should you choose to gain the benefits of this incredible fiber? Let's take a look at some of the richest food sources of RS to help you include more of it in your diet. Try steel-cut oats. Steel-cut oats give you carb content, but they are still considered to be one of the most nutritious foods on the planet. They're low in calories, supply important nutrients like manganese, iron, zinc, and B vitamins. And they also contain a generous amount of resistant starch. One 100-gram serving of oats will provide you with 3.6 grams of resistant starch. Brown rice. Lower calorie, high resistant starch brown rice is a versatile, low-cost way to consume beneficial complex carbohydrates. Plus, remember that when rice is cooked and then allowed to cool, its resistant starch content will increase by a significant amount. So don't be afraid to cook up a bit of brown rice. But hold your horses and let it cool a bit before eating. Beans and legumes. Beans and legumes are an incredible source of both traditional fiber and resistant starch. In each 100-gram serving, beans contain up to 5 grams of resistant starch once they've been cooked. And of course, beans and legumes are excellent sources of a wide array of diabetes-fighting nutrients, like folate, phosphorus, potassium, and selenium. Plus, as previously mentioned, you can find great resistant starch content within other foods, like unripe bananas, whole grains, and cooked and cooled potatoes. And if you want to gain the value of RS4 specifically, the FDA has now approved its use, and many food companies now sell legume and grain-based baking flours, which contain type 4 resistant starch. So, now you know, resistant starch does help to lower post-meal blood sugar, and it also aids your overall health. But now, we'd like to know, which resistant starch foods do you already enjoy? And which are you going to try to add to your normal diet? Let us know by commenting below. Before you head out, don't forget to claim your 3 free gifts by clicking the link in the description below. And we'd super appreciate if you hit those like, subscribe, and thanks buttons. Thanks for watching. Now, go enjoy your diabetes fighting day.